Then this one, who is your sister?
This and this.
These are twins.
This one.
This one and this one, they are twins.
You and this one.
This one and this one are twins. He
This
also,
and this.
This one, this
one.
one and this, they are twins. The same mother, the same father. With this one, he brought these three children from the same mother, the same father, and he gave them into prostitution. And their parents are not aware. When they
In this day and time where the moment these the youngsters today have access to smartphone, they can link up. Just like that, somebody said he's going to give us a job in Ghana. And he said we should not say, we should not tell anyone. Are you interested? Me and my sister are going. I'm also bringing this. But in my life, I've heard it before, but I've never seen it. In my life, I have never seen a human trafficker trafficked his own sister. Do you understand that, right? Like they believe that most human traffickers, they always lead double lives. Okay? They are this businesswoman, businessman, they're family man, family woman, who care so much about their children and they are so protective of their own and all of that. I have never seen human trafficker that will traffic his own sister, same father, same mother. And that should tell you all you need to know about the state of Nigeria as we speak. Not just that. When you hear the Ideato, we are from Imo State. Children as young as 15 trafficked from the same senatorial district, Ideato South Senatorial District, Imo State. That too should tell you a lot you need to know about the criminals ruining the lives of Nigerians every state where they are doing, just like in Kaduna. Now you are likely going to see children from Kaduna whose future has been mortgaged, stolen, denied the opportunity to actually have proper education, exist and experience life, because all of that have been taken away from them. And then these children will be lured out of Nigeria. Millions of them are currently serving as either sexual slaves within Nigeria. These are those that have been taken out. I'm talking about the wreck that poverty is actually, the damages that poverty is wrecking right now across Nigeria. That is a very good example, an insight into understanding the level at which Nigeria has degenerated and how easy it is to take lives or sell human beings. There are willing people who are willing to be trafficked. Back in the days, people will say, oh, they were deceived. These days, people are looking for anything. Yeah? Or to send young girls for money. And then talking about Ideato South in Imo State. That will take us to the current topic that is also not just about the cows. You've been hearing about the cows in the Nigerian State National Assembly, the rights of the cows, the right of, the right of movement from one place to another, cows. However, there is an honorable called Ikenga. You know him? Well, himself and 14 others, they are currently moving a motion. In fact, it has passed the first reading, just so you know. So they want a new state to be created. They call it for equity, justice. That it is only the southeast of Nigeria that currently has 5 states in all the 6 geopolitical zones. So, to make it balance up, a part of Imo State will be carved. A part of Abia State will be carved. And a part of Anambra State will be carved. And then to forge together and create a state called Olu States. So, well, we have something to say about that. That might sound somehow like ambitious, but take a look at it this way. The political map that is drawn, that you call states in Nigeria today, is totally political. There was no referendum conducted for the indigenous people of Nigeria to determine who and who wants to come together to form their own states. So creating states in Nigeria started after the civil war, the genocidal war. How do we stop any group of people in the future to want to break away from Nigeria? So the idea then was, let us create and divide Nigeria into states. So by dividing Nigeria into states, it simply means there will be no part of Nigeria that is going to be old without any opposition coming from the same people that were supposed to be asking for that new country. So let me explain how that worked. So when they were creating the states in Nigeria, they ensured that most of the Igbo-speaking people, right, they were cut off and made minorities in the supposed surrounding states, in order to make the Igbo people look small and at the same time look like they are surrounded, landlocked. Here you get now. So then they started working on, when they created that, that is to give impression to the rest of the world, look at them, they are just dots, very small. But the Igbo land and the Igbo-speaking people, I'm talking about the people who shared one or two things in common, and you can see they share the proximity that you can say is Igbo land. And just like in Yoruba land, here you have the Jebus, you have the Egbas, you have the Egus, right? You have the Oyos. You have us like that, but all of us will say we are Yorubas. You have the Okuns in Kogi, they are Yorubas, but they are Okun people. So when they were doing all of that mapping, right, they decided to cut Yoruba land as a part of what they will now. If you see this, so if you look at Kwara State, Niger State, and you go on and you go to Kogi State, and then you will see the way the whole place was kind of carved, right? You will see Yorubas carved among them so that there will be minorities there. So then you will see a place, they'll say, oh, these are major Yorubas. That's exactly what they did in Eastern Nigeria. If you go to River State, the Obigbo people, some of them will argue with us, say, we are not Obigbo, we are Oyigbo people. Say, no, we are not Oyigbo. If you go to Benue, even that same Kogi, you will see some of these Igbos that over the years, many of them have been prohibited to deny it, but many of them as well, they've never denied their Igbo connection or Igbo link. These are people that ordinarily, if they were to say, people should choose how they want to form their own states in their regions, they will not be part of River State. They won't be part of Benue. You will never see them in part of Taraba. You will never see them, you know those places, they share border like that, right? You will go and check the map properly, and you will see all these places, they made them minority. They are the border town. They are Igbos. So if you want a new state, those people should be allowed to choose if they want to be part of their kings and kings in Igbo land. or they want to remain as part of where they have been artificially created. And those are the new states you should create to show the true land of the Igbos, or everybody's land. You get what I mean? The Middle Beltans as well, right? Let them be able to say we are Middle Beltans and this is our land and this is what we have in common. That's why we are in the middle. Kind of. But they won't do that. So Ikenga is asking that, you see, they said, Umucha, places like let me bring it on my screen so that I can be able to pronounce them or read them out like they are listed, okay? So places like that will form the new Olu states. Remember that it is Olu and Osu that Oplesus Odingba is building the Ruga. It is the place, it's one of the most militarized places in Imo State, in eastern Nigeria today. They have suffered, oh dear, they have suffered in the hand of the Nigerian military, the Nigerian government, Imo government, Oplesus Odingba. They are, what is that one called? The one they created in place of ESN, Ebubeagu. The havoc they've wreaked in eastern part of Nigeria, or especially in Osu and Olu, Edeato generally, like there, right? They've suffered. So somehow, I don't know how the people there are taking it, okay? We see the following areas are the areas that Ikenga and his team are pushing to become the 6th states in eastern part of Nigeria. They are, listen up, Umuchu, Ihiala, Uga, Uli, Ozubulu, Akokwa, Aron Dizogu, Umunze, Olu, Osu, Ideato, Njaba, Isu, Oguta, Ohaji, and few other communities around those places as well that are willing to join them, indeed, to creating this. But again, it is worth knowing, okay? So that you can tell me your view on that at some point. Please, let's go further again, because we are still in eastern Nigeria, a place where it is generally believed, for those who should know better, that the insecurity in that part is politically sponsored. And you don't have to believe that, but you will eventually. When you begin to put the pieces together, and then you see that majority of those things they are putting out there, and the agenda behind them, they do not make any sense, except if they appeal to your own self-bias, which is, at least, you can acknowledge, right? Listen to this. It's just a bit of a flashback on this, and if you are kind enough, please listen.
And the violence that seems to have erupted in the southeast?
Well, what we are seeing in the southeast is synchronized violence, synchronized by certain people, definitely not by Igbos.
Okay.
Those people who are doing that are foreigners. If you see a group of Igbo people moving, from their physiognomy, you will know. Now, one of the things that people did in the southeast was to get close to them, speak Igbo to them, and without exception, they responded in broken English. And you saw the other man speaking on Sunday, being displayed by the police as the only surviving person among those who attended to burn the prisons again. The man was given an Igbo name. And when he spoke, he had a northern accent. But back to your question about what is really happening. In the past 2 years or more, the clamor for a president of Nigeria coming from the southeast has been on. And if you notice, up to the past 3 months, there was no problem in the southeast, 4 months. What happened? Suddenly, if you read some papers published in Abuja, you see Igbos are killing northerners. You call those in the south, they say, what are you talking about? It has nothing to do with any Igbo man or any northerner. What we are witnessing is a programmed action by some people to destabilize the southeast, indeed the whole of Igbo land, with a message: Igbo land is unstable. If you're unstable, how then can you produce a president? That is the real key in issue. The headsmen have always been there. But if you notice, for the past 3 or 4 months, issue of the herdsmen had died down. Except in Ebonyi State, where up to last Sunday, the herdsmen were still killing people.
But we cannot deny the fact that this destruction and arson attacks are taking place in the southeast region on security formations.
That's just a snippet into something you should have at the back of your mind. When we talk about a state-sponsored terrorism, we're not making it up or just pulling it out of the thin air. It is what Nigeria has become, and they have the media behind them to drive the propaganda, the lies. But it is so unfortunate that except for the people who are suffering from the short memory or Stockholm syndrome, right? Most of their lies always come back to sort of haunt them. But people have so much short attention span that they let all the lies pass. 2 days ago, I think, a video made it onto the internet. And this video is not just to show to us that the supposedly killed notorious Fulani terrorist called Ballo Turji and his guys is not just alive. He has his army of murderers, terrorists, very, very much alive and active. But Nigerian criminal establishments wanted to believe that the eastern part of Nigeria is so unsafe, right? That there's nothing we can do about it. It's just like the Igbos are the ones who just want to be killing themselves. It's not us. But the northern part of Nigeria, where you have the active terrorism, is mostly played down like it's normal. It's all right. You shouldn't, by any means, point your fingers at those who come from that region, their leaders. Except those ones who comes from the eastern part of Nigeria, who has no control over anything. So that's how you get to know the state-sponsored terrorism. So Turji is alive, armed to the teeth. And in the last 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen, the level of the killings in the northwest and the north central of Nigeria has become like, I don't know, horrible than I don't know how to describe. Well, you are reading it in the news. 40 people killed in Niger State. 27 people killed in Niger State again. 20 people killed in Ikasina. 40 people kidnapped there. Oh, another one killed in Niger. Another one, but these guys are there active. The Nigerian army will make you believe otherwise. You may not understand their language, but I need to let you see this. These are the people they told us that we should learn how to live with, by the way. And these are those who have publicly made videos, and they've killed. About 2 days ago, they slaughtered about 4 people. I couldn't share that video with you. I don't know if you have seen the picture too. They made them kneel down in Borno State, right? And they shot them from behind, execution style. But they didn't do that in this video, so don't worry. Just see the irritants. They will always get the state pardon. They always have the amnesty. It is called the Operation Safe Corridor. No matter how much they do all this, there is always a repentant a repentant program for them to rehabilitate the terrorists. The only country that is doing that in the whole world, Nigeria.
Muna gode ma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala da ya kawo a daidai wannan lokaci, wannan shekara ta 2024 wadda muke ciki. Alhamdulillahi muna gode ma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala da ya kawo a daidai wannan lokaci. Sunana Muhammadu Bello Turji, wanda aka fi sani a arewa maso yamma. A kwanan nan na joni labari na fita ɗaya bayan ɗaya, wasu mutane sun fitar da sanarwa sun samu talakawa suna ta kashe su ɗaya bayan ɗaya, suna cin dukiyoyinsu, suna cin amanar bisashensu, suna cin amanar bisashensu, suna cin amanar dabbobinsu, suna cin amanar talakawansu. domin su ce sun je sun kama Muhammad sun kama wani wai shi ana ce mai Lieutenant Colonel ko balere yake da wannan bawa Allah muna roƙo ga mai girma Abdulrahman Umar Ciyani talakawan Nijar ba sa cikin wannan tsari ya bar cutar da su gada ya kai su ma su fusata su ɗauki makamai kamar yadda mu ma muka kai muka ɗauki makamai a yanzu ka gani dama a haka aka fara Najeriya a je a samu talakawa a kashe su a ce an kashe yan bindiga to an ce an kashe balere an kama balere wane ne to ga fa balere gashi fa gashi bari in fito maku da shi kai da kace ka kama shi gaji dan Allah wa an ce an kama baleri wanda duk san baleri shi ne cikin kumandodin na Bello Turji da ake magana an kama waye to yanzu dai wannan abun ya zama dai duk labarin ƙarya ne saboda haka mutane ku fahimta da talakawa da mutanen gari da kowa talakawa ne ake kamawa a kashe a zo a daure a ce an kama yan ta'adda to an ce an kama baleri gashi ga Bello Turji kai gwamnan Maradi kai da ka fito kace ka kama baleri gashi ga Bello Turji kuma ga al'ummar Bello Turji nan muna tare don Allah ku ji kunya wannan abun kunya ne kuka yada kun zo kun ce wai mutum an kama mutum 66 to mu yan bindiga ba mu karewa sun gene halal don hakan ga da ku da jami'an gwamnatin Najeriya kuna ta zuwa kuna ta ƙarere kuna kashe talaka wannan abun da kuke yi bai yi ba muna kiran ku je mu gyara ƙasa tare da ku ba tuta ma talakawa kuna cewa kun kashe waye to kowa ba ku kashe ba ga baleri a saboda haka muna tunatar da ku sake talakawan nan in ba ku sake su ba kun ci amanar su don haka makiyaya ne manoma ne suna bi da abin da sun kaci alhamdulillah mun gode ma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sunana Muhammadu Bello Turji a arewa maso yamma muna gode ma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a wannan yankin da muke ciki masha Allah
So those are your jihadists, ladies and gentlemen. However, what he was saying in that video is to tell the Nigerian government, as well as the Nigerian government as well, that they can't kill him, even though if they wanted to kill him. His men are okay. He introduced one Gani, even Gani is here. So just so you know, we are fighting for the Talakawas. We are fighting for the poor people. The poor Fulanis that the government don't care about. These are the people we are fighting for. Like that guy is murdering people, right? Kidnapping the same poor people in their villages. So how is that fighting for the poor people or Allah? Anyway, somebody responded. I'm going to bring that video up, okay, in a moment. But the difference between that Ballo Turji, the terrorist, the Fulani terrorist in northern Nigeria that enjoyed maximum protection from the Nigerian government under Boko Haram has resurfaced, like Alhaji Shekau, he has resurfaced, and he's saying, Nigeria, you haven't seen anything. I remember his video, I think that was about 4 years ago, and it was like, there is no government that can capture him, you should forget that. And whatever Nigerians were going through at the time, that was just at the beginning. You haven't seen anything, because it's like an invincible diesel that it makes mouth anyway, right? And I think they all did. They all kind of made their mouth, okay? So there's a guy. Okay, hang on. I'm going to come back to that, like I said, all right? But it's the difference between Ballo Turji and your politicians in Nigeria is just at the dressing, okay? Because take a look at this. In those states, right? They are going to have their elections, the governorship elections, later, I think around November or so this year. So they have the Labour Party, they have the PDP, they have the APC. But it seems like the whole fight is going to be a straight one between Labour Party, Apata guy, as well as the Asue guy of PDP. So they did this to Apata without shooting a gun, though, right?
I will do my due diligence before I make any allegations. I'm a lawyer and I've been one for 30 years, right? During the primaries, same thing happened. Right after the primaries, my boards were being taken down all over the city, right? Now that INEC has lifted the ban on campaigns, we started installing our boards all over Benin City. I just returned from Lagos yesterday, only for me to hear that boards that we have just started installing around Benin are being taken down again. There's a board at the Stadium Road at Kenzwa Junction, two-sided board. One side is an ad from another organization, one side is an ad from my campaign. Only mine was taken down. Now we are on the Kenwa Road by the Uniben main gate. I had a two-sided board right here, taken down by the Oredo Local Government Council. I sent a message to the chairman today, Mr. Obaseki, who happens to be a brother or cousin or relative of the governor. And I told him that my boards are being taken down. There is an individual in the Oredo local government called Charles Egareva. He's supposed to be a member of the revenue department. He's the one who sent messages to my billboard installers, telling them to take down the boards. I was even told that he had the temerity to suggest that the board on Akenzua is a route that the governor takes regularly. So we must take my board down because the governor takes that route regularly. It is ridiculous. This is the kind of stunt that this government pulls all the time.
Okay. Sorry. So I put something up. I'm trying to bring that guy's video. There's a clip I wanted to bring on. Okay, I'll come back to it. In response, the PDP is the one in government.